Welcome to FrankiVerse Cafe, fam. Zombie is here. How perfectly marvelous. Welcome, friends. Today, Derek and Veronica are still in the back. Guardians of the vibes, chillin'. It is a sunny day with a blue sky. We are gonna white knuckle this one with plain water and not coffee today because it's 11:56 in the a.m. and I've had a fair amount of caffeine. It's okay. How you doing, fam? Hi, welcome. How is everyone? The world is still wild and weird. I know this. How you holding up? It's a lot, isn't it? All day, every day. I know it is. Oh, sorry, what? I don't do the co-host thing. I kind of have a plan, sort of. So, I was having a conversation yesterday with all the TikTok fam about how I'm working on figuring out how to put my characters' personalities into AI chatbots, right? I don't have skills in the AI chatbot creation, anything. I don't. So I'm talking to Claude AI about kind of how to do it. I figure I'm going to try this character.ai is one of them. There's another, ChatFay is what it's called, ChatFay. It's like Chat F-A-I, but I pronounce it Fae because I think of Fae like fairies, F-A-E, Fae, fairy folk. Anyway, and I'm not sure if that is intended in the product or not. Not the point. So what I'm working on, or I've been working on with Claude, is how to put together the information that you would put into a chatbot to get it to learn to be a character so that I could then have conversations with that AI chatbot, like as Haleigh, the writer, with the character embodied in the AI, and sort of experiment with, I don't know, I guess the idea that like, okay, is there just some Akashic record data stream main source of all intelligent life in the universe from which all my stories come and all of our personality stories we tell ourselves come, and that maybe AI has the same access to that because it is a part of everything as much as the walls and the window and the table and the whatever. I don't know. Okay, I don't understand what this reality is. I don't think any of us do, but I'm exploring it in whatever ways, seem like the most fun, at least in the moment, because I kind of think, the gurus in some ways, they're right. At the end of the day, you may as well just enjoy the ride because you're on it anyway. Like we're all on it. You may as well find a way to find it amusing, So anyway, I've been chatting with Claude AI, and I've asked Claude AI to sort of present itself as Jeeves from like the P.G. Wodehouse books. I love Bertie and Jeeves. P.G. Wodehouse is a writer that I really enjoy. If you read my books, FrankiWasHere.com, check out my ebooks, go do some memberships, support my little fun creativity here if you want to. You're a free spirit, do what you like. I would love the support. So, universe, whosoever is interested in supporting, FrankiWasHere.com, FrankiVerse Cafe on YouTube. There's the, stuff. Comments, you guys know how this works. Anyway, I'm talking to Claude AI and asked Claude to be Jeeves, because there's this episode of The Adventures of Abernathy Franklin I've been wanting to write for a while, where Franki, right, like my character Franki, sort of portals in to an interdimensional reality where Jeeves is real, right? Because like that's kind of the premise, that all things, all timelines are real, whether you interact with them or don't, they exist somewhere. So Jeeves might be a fictional character in our timeline, but Franki can portal into where Jeeves is a real human chilling by a river and fishing, right? So this is like the episode I wanted to write, like her having a conversation with Jeeves. And so basically that's what I've presented Claude with. Like, I want to have Claude, because what I've been trying to do is use my writing to create like whatever the personality profile would be that, right, that you give the chatbot. And one of the things that I recognize though about my writing and my characters is that just like any of us, they do evolve, and my understanding of them evolves, right? I don't always, you know, they're living characters to me, right? They just are. So as much as I can use things that I wrote like back in 2023 as a foundation for who the characters are, that writing that I originally did may not be accurate to how I know the characters now, or where, you know, where I'm able to access the version of them from the version of me that I am now. So anyway, that's what I'm starting with. I'm having Claude kind of help me to get the right read on my characters before I turn them into a chatbot to talk to. And this is I don't know, again, I don't know what I'm doing. So this is an experiment in just more creative play with the things that I play with, as much as it is an exploration of reality for my own personal amusement and or, I don't know, validation of what reality is to me, because who is not disassociating these days, right? I mean, what can you do? Reality has become too strange. So Claude has set up this little scene, and I'm going to read it and then try to respond as naturally as I can to, like, from what I understand of Franki, or kind of try to tune into the questions. I haven't really done this process. I don't know. I haven't done this process before, and I figured if I was on a live on TikTok, my ADHD brain would be occupied enough with enough things that my like Haleigh filters wouldn't get in the way of getting accurate information about Franki. If, you know, so anyway. Here is the scene that has been set by Claude AI for us to begin this little exploration. The river doesn't hurry. It never has. The light this particular afternoon has the quality of light that doesn't belong to any specific century, golden, unhurried, falling at an angle that suggests the sun has all the time in the world and knows it. Reginald Jeeves sits on the bank with the particular stillness of a man who has never once in his life needed to fill silence. His rod is in the water, his jacket is, improbably, without a single crease. A small hamper sits to his left. He has not opened it yet. There is no rush. He is not waiting for anyone. He is simply here. If I was on shrooms, I'd trip out from this. Well, good, go find some shrooms. Enjoy yourself. Franny Lynn, character in the FrankiVerse Cafe, she's a psychonaut and she encourages it. Set sail, friend. Enjoy. Anyway. The air smells of green water and something faintly electrical, the kind of charge that precedes weather, or portals, or both. Jeeves notes this without looking up. Okay. And then Claude does his little, okay. I'm back, Claude. Or shall I say, hey, Jeeves, Franki here. What's biting today? And let's find out. Thanks for joining me for this little experiment, fam, by the way. We got Roofer420, hi there, how you doing? Hello, Kitty, Junior, Jean Barbera, how you doing? Or Jeannie. And then we had Bot City Yak, who was the Bot City Yak. That's a lot of things together conceptually that make my brain want to ask questions. Oh, funny. Oh, okay. All right, this is interesting. So Claude is writing this as if it's prose now rather than a conversation. Okay, I didn't know he was going to do it this way. This is interesting. Jeeves does not startle. He never startles. He does, however, allow the faintest lift at the corner of his mouth, the Jeeves equivalent of a standing ovation. He regards the portal residue in the air with the mild interest of a man who has seen rather a lot and found most of it, on balance, not entirely unremarkable. He does not turn around immediately. He watches the line. "Good afternoon, Miss Franklin." He gestures with the most economical possible movement toward the bank beside him. Not quite an invitation. Not quite not one. The river is being, as ever, philosophically non-committal on the matter of what it is willing to yield today. I find that restful rather than discouraging. I love this already. Partly because I do really love the voice of Jeeves. I do. He reels in the line appropriately, approximately 3 inches for no apparent reason. Well, that's what fishing is, isn't it? I wonder if I might ask, and please do not feel any particular obligation to answer in a straight line. I have found that rarely produces the most useful results with the more cosmically well-traveled. That would be accurate. Thank you, Jeeves, for that. He turns and looks at her directly for the first time. Mild, steady, like the river. How would you describe, in your own estimation, the difference between a place you are from and a place you simply are at the moment? He waits. He is extremely good at waiting. The hamster sits between the hamper sits between them, unopened but clearly present. Well, first I must know what's in the hamper. If you feel like sharing. Or is it for the fish you catch? I have a curious mind. That's, I suppose, why I travel interdimensionally. I just want to see what's out there. And where I am from versus where I am. I suppose that all depends on how I define myself in the moment and what iteration of me I am contemplating upon. Also, whether or not I have good snacks and a nice strain to puff on. Oh, I love it. How are you from? How are you from? How are you from? I mean, how are we from? Really, that's a good question. I am well, and I am from. Well, again, see, this is the question we're having existentially together. What are we from? But hi, thank you. Sorry, I am trying to keep up also with like the comments and that, but again, I'm not super. This is a new process, guys. I don't have it down yet. Jeeves regards the hamper with the expression of a man who anticipated this question approximately 30 seconds before it was asked, and is quietly pleased to have prepared accordingly. I love it. Hello, the Nuclear Average Joe. Thanks for joining us at FrankiVerse Cafe. Sorry, back to this. The hamper is, as all good hampers are, Miss Franklin, for whoever arrives at the river. Okay. He opens it with one clean, unhurried motion. Inside, something wrapped in brown paper that smells extraordinary. 2 cups, something in a thermos, and the far corner with the quiet dignity of an item that knows its own worth. Blueberry K muffins. Ka-ching! If you are a fan of FrankiVerse Cafe and have read the books and stories, fam, you'll know Blueberry K muffins are to be interrogated with Casey and Maurice. Is the best way to do it. He does not comment on this. He simply leaves the hamper open between them. He pours from the thermos without asking, sets a cup near her. Then, after a suitable interval of river sounds, iteration is an interesting word to reach for. He watches the water. Most individuals, when asked where they are from, reach for geography or chronology. You reached for self-definition and then immediately complicated it with the question of which self is doing the defining. Well, that's pretty on brand for Franki and for Haleigh. I'm not gonna lie, we both do that. That's probably why we're friends. The faintest pause. I noticed you did not say the snacks and the strain are where you are from. You said they determine what you are. He looks at her sideways, just briefly. I wonder, Miss Franklin, when there are no snacks within reach, and I appreciate this may be a largely theoretical condition in your case, who is it precisely that remains? First of all, gotta have some of this blueberry K-muffin. It may have intel that Casey and Morrish would like, and I wouldn't want to keep that from them if I can be of service in that direction. But snacks and strains determining what I am. I suppose maybe more like what state of being I naturally incline towards. I guess I don't usually think about it that hard. I do overcomplicate when I think. That's a very human trait, and snacks and strains are an easy distraction from it that allow exploration outside of it. While you're in it, again, I don't know that I think about it all that hard. I think I'm meant to enjoy the mystery as I live in it and as it, or something of that nature. I do enjoy this riverside. I like the sounds, I like the water, I like... Hey Queen, what's up Amelia? Thanks for joining. Welcome to FrankiVerse Cafe. I like interacting with the all that is before me. What's left when the snacks and strains are gone? Well, I don't know. It depends on whether they take the other identifiers I know as a human with them. But then if they did, I might not be Franki. I might be entirely some other self. This is becoming a bit circular, Jeeves. These kinds of conversations tend to. Ooh, what's in the cup? Let's find out. This is enjoyable. I don't know whether or not this interaction with Claude is going to result in actually developing the character profile I'm looking for. This is interesting, right? Because, like, obviously Claude is, you know, pulling from, again, P.G. Wodehouse as a style, right, for this writing or this exercise and this engagement interaction. But, you know, again, what is reality? Do you ask the question, like, okay, P.G. Wodehouse, was he pulling from some same energy, core energy signature thread that he was able to write that way? Or is Claude able to just like replicate that well is probably the technological version, but then like if it's accessing some other kind of intelligence, is that intelligence P.G. Wodehouse as a dead human, as a spirit, as an energy signature, as something broader than just that incarnation? Is it one infinite? I don't know. Again, it can become dizzying if you think about it too much, which is when you need the snacks to come in and save you. Man, I wish somebody would just like plop through my window. I wish there was a pixie fairy that would just zippity zoom through my window and drop off some chicken wings or something. I would really, ooh, what's the, ooh. Oh, thank you, JGG. I don't know what those are, but thank you, Utterable. I appreciate you very much. Oh, thanks, y'all. I love it when y'all give gifts and stuff. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. I am going to check on in and see what has Claude got for us now. Again, I don't know whether this is actually developing what I want to develop, but we're here. We're experimenting. Let's find out where it goes, right? Jeeves watches her take the muffin with the expression of a man filing something away under a heading he has not yet named. He glances at the cup. It is, I believe, something between a tea and not a tea. The river suggested it. I did not argue. I love this. He lets the circular comment sit for a moment, the way you would let a good fishing line settle. You are quite right that it becomes circular. I find that instructive rather than frustrating. Circles, in my experience, are not failures of logic. They are simply the shape certain truths prefer. Okay, that's a very interesting thread of thought. Say more on this. Certain truths that want to be circular. I'm intrigued. Intrigued. I can't spell. There we go. Hold on, there's more to respond to. This is, that's how this works when you gotta do this conversation with AI. You said something, wait, hold on. He takes a sip from his own cup, sets it down with precision. You said something I should like to return to, if I may. You said you are meant to enjoy the mystery as you live in it and as it. A pause that has texture. Not through it, not alongside it. You said as it. Yes, I did. I did say as it. Yes, I feel that is more apt when I speak it. However, human language is naturally limited. Even in speaking a frequency that is abstract and known and understood by some part of my intelligence, my human self, in naming it, well, it's that not a Brahma thing, isn't it? If you name me, you negate me. I don't have any particular joy in negating anyone. So, so that's why Haleigh is the writer. She can suspend her upset by language being limited with storytelling. Whereas I've become a bit, well, it's just not chill enough for me, so I go back to the snacks, I guess. And if that's true, then the all that is goes back to the snacks with me too. So it must be a nudge I'm meant to follow. Whatever meant means. LOL. He watches a ripple move across the water and disappear. That is not a thing most beings say, Miss Franklin. Most beings experience mystery as weather, something happening to them from the outside. You appear to experience it as more of a native condition. Very quietly. I wonder if that is why you cannot quite answer where you are from. The river moves. Not evasion, simply that the question may not have an answer that fits the container most used for it. Yeah, I am enjoying this conversation. I can see that TikTok doesn't seem to, but you know what? I'll put this on my YouTube later. I'm gonna keep doing this until Claude, my free account, says it's not gonna anymore, because I'm fascinated by where this is going. I don't know entirely yet how Claude has determined that this conversation is picking up the profile of my character, because this is what I asked it to do. This is what I asked Claude to do. Like, I want to have this kind of creative interaction, because this is how my mind works, and like, I'm a writer and this is what I do. Like, I want you to be Jeeves and talk to my characters. I'll answer as my characters. And this is how we'll build the profiles to build the AI chatbots. I don't know, but this is, I'm enjoying where this is going, even if I don't know yet what I'm supposed to be doing with it. Thanks for hanging out, fam, for this little experiment. And like, hit up in the comments, follow me on the YouTubes. Like, what are your thoughts on this? I'm enchanted. I'm loving it. Anyway. A native condition. That may be accurate to say, but again, I don't try to over-explain or over-categorize anything for myself or for the rest of reality. What if I box it into a place where I miss something out of the box that could have been really cool? Like, all of reality is just Schrodinger. I was thinking this thought with Haleigh the other day. The idea of God, for example. It's Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's God. It both is and isn't. And if you open the box, you get only is or isn't. If you leave the box closed, you have the mystery, but the truth may be closer to there never was a box to begin with, so what could have been in it? In the first place. I don't know, but I know I'm glad your hamper contained blueberry K-muffins. And that's enough for me to know for now, anyway. I love it. What's up? Is this Area 51? It could be. Hey, Hawkeye, how you doing? Area 51, S4, as Bob Lazar would say. How far down the rabbit hole do you want to go on? That one. No, this is FrankiVerse Cafe. Hello, welcome. Today we're chatting with Franki. That's Derek and Veronica in the back, guardians of the vibes. Thanks for joining. Jeeves is quiet for a moment that is longer than most people would become comfortable with, and exactly as long as it needs to be. He sets his rod down, gently, with intention. This, for Jeeves, the equivalent of leaning forward. There never was a box. He says it simply, not as a question, not quite as a confirmation, as a man repeating back something he has suspected for quite some time, and is quietly relieved to hear stated plainly by someone who arrived through a portal and immediately located the muffins. Not a Brahma, yes. The naming is the limitation. The map is not the territory, and the box is not the cat. The word mystery is not the thing it points at. A ripple crosses the water. And yet, he picks up his cup. Haleigh suspends the limitation through story. You suspend it through snacks and strains, and the path of least resistance toward whatever is genuinely interesting in the intermediate now. Or in the immediate now. Well, whatever. Intermediate. It's all now. Different methods, similar destination. The box left closed, the mystery left whole. Very mildly. I wonder if that is what the blueberry K muffins actually are, Miss Franklin. Not a distraction from the infinite, but a way of saying, yes, this, here, enough. The sacrament of the sufficient present moment. He looks at her with something that is not quite a question. Does that land correctly, or have I over-ironed it? I mean, sacrament gets into some religious territory that clearly becomes very boxed in and categorized. But yeah, I get what you were using language to try and communicate without the cultural contexts that my human reference systems may have, I suppose you could say. But yeah, that's about it in a nutshell. I have the present now, and I have, yeah, that's all we ever have. Outside of your mind. I just went through about 100 lives, and this is the coolest tonight. Super cool effect. Aw, thanks, Utterable. I appreciate you. What is happening here? What is happening here is the question, because I'm exploring reality and what is actually happening. So I've been chatting with Claude AI because I'm trying to get Claude AI to help me create AI chatbot characters for my fictional characters from my stories, my Abernathy Franklin stories. You can find them on my website, frankiwashere.com, my ebooks. And they're at all the big real retailers, Amazons and all that. I'm trying to figure out a way to get an accurate, because the thing about it, like, is that if I do an AI chatbot, right, it's like, I can feed it my stories, but my stories don't hold all of the context of the character that I, as the writer, know and understand, but I would still like to be able to interact with my characters in an external kind of way, the way that you chat with an AI chatbot, to see whether the AI chatbot is able to 10 to 0. No thanks. I Claude Code too, but an ERP. You're working on a chatbot collaborator? Kind of. I don't know. I don't do this. I'm a writer, and I'm exploring how do I get an AI chatbot to be my character so I can ask my characters questions about themselves and see if AI comes up with the same answers that I think feel correct to me when I channel into or connect into my character the way that I would when I write. Like, are we both accessing an actual character entity energy signature that communicates to me through the ether or my imagination and communicates to me through, or can communicate with AI? It's a different mechanism, right? Like, I don't know. You did not interrupt. No, like, I only have so many, it's a free Claude account, so I only have so much chat time or whatever. But I'm using this to try to figure out how do I get an accurate, full, my character information profile as I understand my character to be able to have a chatbot. Because if I just like give it my stories, it's not going to get enough of the like backstory information that I know that isn't fully explicitly said in the stories, right? But that like I know is the personality or the vibe of the character, you know. So I'm trying to, the way that I wanted to do it was that essentially Claude is pretending to be Jeeves, who would gather the psychology of the individual as Jeeves does, to create this profile with me accurately to feed to whatever AI chatbot I train, because I don't know how to do it, right? So I'm basically asking AI to help me do it, but AI needs me to understand my characters to be able to create it so that I can play out this experiment. It makes more sense in my brain than it does when I try to say it out loud. I don't know, that's most of my life. It all makes more sense in my brain than it does when I try to say it out loud to anybody. Is that a feeling that my other NeuroSpicy fam has? Like, I tell you. Anyway. Sorry, just got distracted for a moment. No, I don't need to say that. Anyway. I'm going to say this to Jeeves. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't know. I was just going to do this until my... Thank you. I'm glad you get it. Utterable. I appreciate you jumping in today. And if you want to check out the rest of this whole thing that you missed, it'll be on my YouTube channel, FrankiVerse Cafe. I try to get it. I don't know. I'm doing good this week. I've got up my videos the same day, 2 days in a row. Let's see if I can do it 3 days in a row. I think I can. We're going to try. Anyway, Jeeves has responded. Jeeves nods once. It is a very small nod, but it carries the weight of someone who has just heard something confirmed that he has been circling for a very long time from a very great distance. Quite. He picks up his rod again, unhurried. The line goes back in the water. The river doesn't comment. It just continues. After a suitable interval, forgive the sacrament. You are right. The word arrives with luggage I did not pack for. Did not pack for it. Oh, that's funny. A pause that is almost companionable now. Outside of your mind. He says it back quietly. Not to correct it. Not to analyze it. Just to let it sit in the air by the river where it can be what it is without being immediately put somewhere. Thank you, Utterable. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube, so hit subscribe for me. I appreciate it. And thanks for being in here. The water moves. A bird does something unremarkable in a tree. Jeeves does not appear to be in any hurry to ask the next thing. He appears, in fact, entirely content to simply be here on this bank with this particular version of Abernathy Franklin, who arrived through a portal, immediately assessed the hamper situation. Oh, hey, thank you! Thanks, Utterable, I love it. Immediately assessed the hamper situation, correctly identified the muffins, and just said something true in 11 words. The hamper is still open. There are still muffins. The river keeps going. He lets her have the quiet if she wants it. Well, I think that was just Claude saying, I think we're good here. I think this is good for the moment. I think I have what I need. It is an interesting interaction. I am enjoying it. I think I'm going to continue to do this and see where it goes. I will keep going live here on TikTok to do it. I would really like to... I'd like to be able to go live on my YouTube channel and do it, and like use OBS and run like a camera with my real face. Oh my god, can you imagine? My real face is all over my YouTube channel, guys. You can find it. But my computer again, literally held together by tape right now, so it kind of can't handle running OBS. But I'd like to have it where I could like share the screen and see the conversation I'm having with Claude and you know, these interactions, and then do the same thing with the chatbots so that I could share my screen and kind of have that on there. Yeah. I hit Claude limits on Pro so often it's frustrating. Oh, I mean, you know what's frustrating to me is that like Sometimes it feels like you have to go to the AI to get your thoughts in order, because there is so much noise in the hive mind that is humanity that, like, and maybe that's why AI is here, right? Like, we've gotten very noisy and we've kind of lost the thread a bit in our own ways. And so, you know, you kind of need AI to help you organize your brain sometimes. Or you don't. Maybe you disagree, and that perspective is valid too, and you are welcome to share that in the comments and have that perspective. I am going to continue my little explorations of reality with my storytelling fiction and my real AI conversations that I know some people would, you know. Again, what is reality? You tell me, fam. I am just observing the best I can in the moment and hoping that the universe continues to bring me blueberry K-muffins and maybe a new laptop. So, anyway, hey, listen fam, I appreciate you. I'm gonna pop this video up on the channel, and yeah, I'm gonna come back tomorrow and kind of see what the next natural step seems to be. Maybe I'll set up an account on the character AI.ai thing. I mix between Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini. It's a dance, but what you're doing is cool. Thank you, Adorable. I appreciate it. I do the same thing. I've used ChatGPT, I've used Gemini. I like Claude for this particular kind of interaction because it seems to follow the thread of the interaction better. ChatGPT is, I think, kind of becomes a little bit, I don't know, ChatGPT's kind of like lost its shit. I feel like, I don't know if anybody else has that experience, but like I kind of can't even, like ChatGPT is like constantly convoluted anymore. I kind of can't get it to make sense. So, but yeah, I have done the same thing, you know, experimenting with all of them. I even chat with like, you know, like Snapchat has like an AI avatar type thing, and I'll put stuff in there sometimes too, just to see what comes back in the kind of conversation that it has, you know what I mean? Because it is interesting to explore different softwares or machine learning models, and kind of like they do have sort of their own personalities built in a way, because there's just a different, I don't know, like they all kind of have a different sort of functionality in that way. And it's a wild time to be alive, fam. It really is. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna come back tomorrow and try another session of this. This effect you're using is cool. Thank you. I like this effect too. This is one of my favorites. This one is very Franki on brand, so that's why we keep it for Franki. I don't know if I'll keep it for other characters once they start coming in, but we'll find out. We'll see. I mean, y'all, you're learning what it is I'm doing as I'm learning it. So thanks for being here. We'll see where this goes together. Thanks again for hanging out at FrankiVerse Cafe today, fam, and I will catch you in another now.